because I think she is obsessed with and madly in love with Kevin, who has run her career side by side with her. And she has a son with Kevin Jr.
Okay, there's a lot going on here. I didn't expect these little personals. This is why you say you got nothing, and then you always have I was like hanging out with Richard Gere in the green room. So you always have something. You don't think you do. So let's just slow down. So normally when a celebrity comes in, sometimes I'm in the weeds, guys. Sometimes I miss the top line point of the story. So when the normal celebrity, Snoop Dogg, like you could just chill and, you work there, maybe ask for a picture and all that.
Oh my God. So Fox, before the pandemic, Fox 5 local news, like they used to have everybody come into their Good Day show. Everyone, name a celebrity.
It's literally like we have Rosanna Scotto. It's the same thing. We have
exact same
go
thing.
Through there. That's Fox. Same thing.
That's Fox. So they come in, and most of the time the celebrities are great. Like everybody will take photos. I'm talking Leslie Jordan. I'm talking, oh my God. I mean, who do you want? All the Queer Eye for the Straight guys. Every music, Kelly Rowland, all those people come in, Snoop Dogg, take a picture. Usually everybody's very cool. And then they go out. Every once in a while, you will get an email from specific. And again, it's so rare. It's Richard Gere. It's Wendy Williams. I'm trying to think if there was anybody else. I don't recall anyone else. I mean, everyone. Ray J's been through there. Brandy, all easy, all, very nice. But yeah, major celebrities. Now, of course, everyone's over Zoom. So very few people come in studio.
But that's interesting. That's interesting. So Wendy, listen, I met Wendy once at an industry event, and I went up to her and I said, hi, blah, blah, blah. We chatted for a minute. I said, she's like, she's nice meeting you. And then I said, can I have a picture? And the phone was off. Like when I asked, the phone is halfway in the air. I mean, it's kind of like, it's a little rude, I guess, David, but you got to be ready here, Sarah. I mean, no fumbling for the camera. So I said, can I have a picture as the phone? And she was like, so she said, like, we made small talk. Nice meeting you. Oh, can I have a picture? She's like, nice meeting you. And I didn't understand at first. I was like, wait, she didn't understand that. And then something snapped to me like, no, David, she understood your question. That's her nice way of saying, go fuck yourself. There'll be no picture today.
No photo. Fascinating.
She's talked about it on her show a lot, that she like just, I'm at the grocery store and I rolled out of bed and they want the pictures, and like she's anti-photo just because for her own insecurities of how she looks, which is so unfounded. So it is really hard to get a talk show. That is true. Look, she's a trailblazer. Now, I like to say that we are all here because of my past guest a few weeks ago, Miss Sally Jessy Raphael. I give credit to Sally as opposed to anyone, but Sally, who came before Wendy, loves Wendy. Sally was on my show. She got all this press. She trashed Drew, she trashed everyone. Hates the Drew Barrymore show, doesn't like Kelly Clarkson. She's like, she liked two people. She liked Tamron Hall and Wendy Williams. She's like, and that's because that Wendy came up through the radio. She doesn't like, she basically said this on the show. Everyone should listen to the Sally Jessy episode if you haven't. She's like, we have this thing today. If you're good at one thing, you're good at everything. You're an actress, you get a talk show. That was shading Drew. I mean, she specifically, then I had some follow-up questions where she trashed you. You're a singer, you get a talk show. Okay, you're referring to Kelly Clarkson. She trashed Ryan Seacrest as fluff. She's like nobody.
Fluff.
Yeah, she's like, Wendy did the job. Boots, like hands, like worked the nails to the bone and came up through the ranks. And she loved Wendy Williams, Sally. Loved.
Wendy is the last, not the last, because I think you're seeing like bloggers, YouTubers, podcasters, right? They're real. They keep it real. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it's yet to be seen if those podcasters, can they break out into television stars? That's a whole nother, it's very,
They're all trying, honey. They're all trying.
Well, I can tell you another tidbit, which is I go on production because I'm pitching these show ideas. You and I've talked about this all the time. And I always pitch the Sarah Fraser talk show. And they're like, no, get in line. They're like, nobody is taking a risk on a talk show. You have to be Drew Barrymore. And even that is hanging on by a thread.
Is it? No, there's bad ratings for Drew.
I haven't looked recently. The first season I heard terrible, but it was like, but CBS basically gave it another year. I don't think it's great though.
Interesting. Now, I have a friend. I had Gregory Zarian on my show. I became really good friends with him. His twin brother, Lawrence Zarian, works on Kelly Clarkson. I think Kelly does. I mean, I don't know about now, but it did. It did in the beginning, in the middle. Kelly's show was doing great.
Well, and Kelly, I think, is set to take over for Ellen. So I think Kelly's will probably continue on. But Sally is right, because what Sally, I think, is referring to is nobody, these people, like, can you even name a memorable Drew Barrymore interview? There aren't any, because what Sally's saying is, like, when you would go on Wendy, like, and Wendy would sit there and be like, okay, you know, Kim Kardashian and Ray J. Kim, you know, all right, tell us, like, what kind of lube did you use when you were like fucking Ray J in that film? Like, I mean, she would get to, you know, she has to, Whitney Houston famously about crack cocaine. I mean, that's what Sally's saying. Like, the 80s and 90s shows, people would come on Sally Jesse, and Sally Jesse would be like, all right, well, you know, how long have you been sleeping with your cousin? You know, and like, then everyone would boo. People don't ask that anymore. They just have these fluff, you know, interviews. Tell me about your book. Oh my God, I love you. I love you.
Well, that's what Sally said. She's like, you know, now the person's as good as the person who writes the questions on the card. You know, she's like, we actually did the questions. No, that's true. I mean, look, Sherri, look, they tested everyone. Was Sherri Shepherd my personal favorite guest interviewer? No, but it's just like Ryan and Kelly. They tested, they looked at the numbers, they tested again, they kept testing. And they're like, no, Michael Rappaport, your numbers are not as high as Sherri Shepherd. So you're not going to, even though the Bravo universe has an opinion on you, yes or no, we're going to, and Sherri Shepherd tested the best. They did Michelle Visage from Drag Race. There was some great Kim Whitley I loved, but nope, Sherri got, and I mean, look, she has cred from The View. All her View co-stars have spoken out. Congratulations. It's, I guess people are saying what? It's like, I know Andy Cohen got involved, and Andy Cohen did a huge tribute to Wendy on.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah.
So it's like, what? It's just like, people are saying this is an awful way for Wendy to go out. Like, what? Because it was announced? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, because I think somebody like Wendy, you know, you saw like when Oprah left, you know, I think there was an entire year of the final season of the Oprah Winfrey Show. I mean, when Regis Philbin left, you know, I mean, there was like a big goodbye. That's what's shocking. Now there's the rumor that Wendy Williams is allegedly being courted to do a podcast. And of course, Spotify is one of the places that wants to give her a deal. And a lot of people are online are saying, look, if they gave Joe Rogan 200 million, Wendy should get 200 million. There's no way Wendy's getting 200 million. And I don't believe for a second. Unfortunately, I think things are much dire in the Wendy Williams camp than what we know. My personal feeling is, I think her son and her ex-husband keep kind of putting out these things like, oh, she's coming back. She's talking about things when she's ready to relaunch, which I think is awesome. And maybe she needs that optimism. I want her to have a podcast, but I don't think it's ever happening.
You don't buy the narrative.
I don't.